In the quiet suburbs of Ikeda, Osaka Prefecture, where cherry blossoms once symbolized fragile beauty and renewal, an unimaginable horror unfolded on June 8, 2001. What should have been an ordinary school day filled with laughter, lessons, and the innocent chatter of children turned into a nightmare that scarred Japan forever. 8 young lives, 7 little girls and 1 boy, all between the ages of 6 and 8, were brutally stolen in a frenzy of violence that lasted mere minutes but echoed through decades. This is the story of the Osaka School Massacre, a tragedy that not only shattered families but exposed the cracks in society's handling of mental illness and school safety. As we delve into this sorrowful tale, prepare to feel the weight of lost innocence, the agony of grieving parents, and the haunting question: how could this happen in a place meant to nurture dreams? Imagine the scene. It's a crisp Friday morning in early summer. The sun filters through the windows of Ikeda Elementary School, an elite institution affiliated with Osaka Kyoiku University, known for its rigorous academics and serene environment. Over 680 students buzz with energy, their small backpacks slung over shoulders, ready for another day of learning. But lurking in the shadows was Mamoru Takuma, a 37-year-old man whose life had been a turbulent storm of rejection, mental instability, and unchecked rage. This wasn't just a random act. It was the culmination of years of societal failures, personal demons, and missed interventions that could have prevented the unthinkable. To understand the depth of this sorrow, we must first peer into the perpetrator's tormented past. Born in Itami, Hyogo Prefecture, Takuma's childhood was marred by antisocial behavior that alienated him from family and peers. Expelled from school and disowned by his father, he drifted into a life of crime, culminating in a conviction for rape that landed him in prison until 1989. Upon release, he bounced between menial jobs, janitor, taxi driver, often fired for erratic outbursts or violence. In 1999, while working at another elementary school, he poisoned staff tea with temazepam, hospitalizing 10 people, and leading to his own psychiatric detention. There he attempted suicide, but doctors deemed him fit for release after diagnosing him with a personality disorder. Yet no robust follow-up ensued. By 2000, another assault charge loomed, with a court date ironically set for the very day of the massacre. Takuma's life was a cry for help ignored, a ticking bomb in a society that prized harmony over confrontation. That fateful morning began with Takuma's failed attempt to arson his apartment, targeting a neighbor he despised. Undeterred, he visited a local knife shop around 10 a.m., purchasing a 15.8-centimeter deba knife for 7,480 yen, a tool meant for filleting fish, now destined for horror. He had another knife in his car, intended for his ex-wife, revealing the depths of his fractured mind. Parking near the school's east gate, he slipped into the south building undetected, climbing through an open window. The clock struck just after 10:10 a.m., when the nightmare began. In a second-year classroom, Takuma burst in silently, his face a mask of detachment. He targeted the children indiscriminately, but with a chilling preference for girls. 5 young souls fell first. Yuki Hongo, Mayuko Isaka, Yukikiso Ayano Moriwaki, and Maki Sakai, all 7-year-old girls whose futures were snuffed out in pools of blood. Their screams pierced the air as classmates scrambled in terror. Moving swiftly to adjacent rooms, he claimed more victims. Hana Tsukamoto and Rina Yamashita, both second graders, their tiny bodies no match for the blade. In a first-year classroom, he turned on Takahiro Tatsuka, the only boy killed, a 6-year-old whose innocence was forever stolen. A brave first-year teacher was stabbed in the back while trying to shield her students, and 13 other children bore wounds that would scar them physically and emotionally for life. The attack lasted only about 5 minutes, but each second felt eternal to those inside. Teachers and staff reacted with heroism amid chaos. The vice principal and a male teacher finally subdued Takuma around 10:20 a.m., though the teacher suffered a slash to the face. Takuma, with self-inflicted wounds on his hands, muttered incoherently at first, "I've taken several overdoses of tranquilizers. I took 10 times the limit." There was also trouble at the school. Before falling silent, emergency services rushed in, but for 8 families, the news was devastating. Their children were gone. The school, once a haven, became a crime scene stained with the blood of the innocent. The victims' stories amplify the sorrow. Yuki Hongo, a bubbly 7-year-old, dreamed of becoming a dancer. Mayuko Isaka loved drawing pictures of her family, her artwork now a frozen memory. Yuka Kiso was known for her kind heart, always sharing snacks with friends. Ayano Moriwaki's laughter filled her home. Her parents recall her excitement for an upcoming school trip. Maki Sakai, with her bright eyes, wanted to be a teacher someday. Hana Tsukamoto's family cherishes her handwritten notes saying, "I love you." Rina Yamashita, an admirer of pop star Hikaru Utada, had won an essay contest expressing her fandom. Utada later honored her by rearranging her song Distance into Final Distance as a tribute. And Takahiro Tatsuka, the lone boy, was a playful spirit who loved soccer, his ball still waiting in the yard. These were not just names. They were futures erased, dreams unfulfilled, in an act that defies comprehension. Japan, a nation priding itself on low crime rates and communal safety, was stunned. Headlines screamed of the horror. School slayings horrify Japan. As the Los Angeles Times put it, parents across the country hugged their children tighter, questioning how such a massacre could occur without guns, relying solely on a knife. The wake of the victims saw tearful vigils, with schoolgirls and mothers praying at the gates. Medics worked tirelessly, but the emotional toll was immediate. Some children, teachers, and parents developed post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, haunted by flashbacks and nightmares. The school introduced a security guard, a first for Japanese institutions, signaling a shift from open trust to guarded caution. In the aftermath, investigations revealed glaring oversights. Takuma's history of mental illness, paranoid personality disorder, repeated hospitalizations, and violent incidents should have barred him from society without treatment. Yet Japan's mental health and underfunded, failed to intervene effectively. The massacre sparked nationwide debates on balancing victims' rights with those of the mentally ill, and on enhancing school security without turning education into fortresses. Memorials sprang up. On the first anniversary, families gathered to remember, pledging to cherish life amid their grief. By 2022, 21 years later, students at the school still honored the victims, vowing to live fully in their memory. Legally, justice moved swiftly in Japan's system. Takuma was charged with multiple murders, pleading guilty, but showing no remorse. Diagnosed again with paranoid personality disorder, he was deemed competent for trial. In August 2003, the Osaka District Court sentenced him to death, a verdict upheld despite appeals. On September 14, 2004, he was executed by hanging, one of the quickest in modern Japanese history. Parents of the victims had demanded this outcome, their sorrow fueling calls for retribution. "We want him to pay with his life," one father said during the trial, encapsulating the raw pain that no verdict could heal. The societal ripples extended far beyond the courtroom. The Ikeda massacre remains Japan's deadliest school attack as of 2025, ranking 6th among its worst mass murders, behind atrocities like the Tokyo sarin attack and the Kyoto animation arson. It prompted reforms. Schools nationwide bolstered security protocols, installing cameras, emergency drills, and mental health screenings for staff. Discussions on indiscriminate mass murder surged, linking them to social isolation and untreated mental health issues. In a culture where hikikomori, social withdrawal, is prevalent, Takuma's story became a cautionary tale of what happens when cries for help go unanswered. Yet, the true sorrow lies in the enduring grief of the survivors and families. Imagine the empty chairs at dinner tables, the untouched toys gathering dust, the birthdays celebrated in tears. One mother, in a poignant interview, shared, "Every morning, I wake up thinking it was a dream, but the silence reminds me it's real." The injured children grew up with scars, physical reminders of that day, and emotional burdens that therapy could only soften. PTSD affected not just them but the community, with some teachers retiring early, unable to face classrooms again. The school's building where the attack occurred was eventually demolished in 2004, a symbolic erasure of trauma, but memories linger like ghosts. Culturally, the tragedy infiltrated art and media. Hikaru Utada's Final Distance became an anthem of remembrance, its lyrics evoking the finality of loss. "I want to be with you, but you're far away." A disturbing footnote. Just days after, a computer game simulating the massacre was pulled from the web, highlighting society's morbid fascination with horror. Documentaries and podcasts, like the IMDb episode June 8, 2001, Osaka Elementary School Massacre, keep the story alive, ensuring lessons are learned. Why revisit this sorrow now? In a world plagued by school violence, from Columbine to Uvalde, the Ikeda Massacre reminds us that evil isn't confined by borders or weapons. It's a call to action. Advocate for mental health resources.